Te ura Flavell.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, kia ora tātou. Can I start by saying that the Māori Party has a particular interest in the commitment demonstrated by Te Hāhi Wetiriana o Aotearoa towards what they describe as cooperative ventures with other churches, and indeed their stands on a couple of issues. In a landmark conference in 1983, I'm told, the Methodist Church affirmed priority to the notion of Te Tiriti o Waitangi as a covenant which established Aotearoa. It was written into their constitution that the treaty provides the basis of a power sharing partnership and is to guide the church in its mission in this land. And so it is, Mr. Speaker, that when I come to this Methodist Church of New Zealand Trust Bill 2009, I think about this commitment to form a close association between mana whenua and the Methodist Church. It's a relationship of goodwill and faith, which we expect to see expressed in the redistribution of trust funds and the processes are described in this bill. Mr. Speaker, this bill is very much a statement of the times. It is consistent with other legislative changes which place emphasis on simplicity, clarity, simplicity and clarity rather than overly complex layering of terms and provisions which were a feature of earlier bills. This bill tries to make it easier to amend Methodist trusts that have charitable purposes. This is a solid goal worth supporting in terms of the support it will be able to provide to communities to advance educational aspirations, eliminate poverty and work towards whānau ora. Making the process easier has been an object of other legislation other members have talked about that have passed through similar private acts for the Presbyterian and Anglican churches, so it would be only right that this bill passed through without too many hitches as well. About a year ago, I was fortunate, Mr. Speaker, to travel up to a very large town called Ruatahuna, somewhere in the middle of the Urewera forest, where the Presbyterian Church was to return land back to the Tūhoe Nation. At that time, how the church really got there in the middle of the Tūhoe Nation there's quite a big and interesting history that was spoken about that day. Pākehā families indeed formed a close relationship with the people up there, who were mainly ringatu of the ringatu faith, so it was a great day of celebration, but I think very much along the lines of this bill set the scene in terms of a different relationship between the hāhi and mana whenua. Mr. Speaker, the other important aspect of this legislation is around the changes to charitable trust funds and properties relating to Methodist orphanages or children's homes. This bill will now make it easier to use that funding in a more appropriate way for the care of children and young people. Over the course of time, care is no longer routinely provided for by orphanages or children's homes, and so this bill responds in ways which we hope will achieve the broader outcome of whānau ora. These dual goals, the capacity to amend Methodist trusts and provisions relating to orphanages or children's homes, allows the church to move with the times and adapt to new processes. We support that, of course, but there is one final rider that we'd like to place on this bill. The amendments proposed mean that the trust property is disposed of to another similar organisation with a similar trust charitable purpose. And this is where we obviously will be keeping a keen eye on with respect to the developments of this bill. Mr. Speaker, as part of the commitment to treaty justice, consultation was held with tangata whenua within the church, namely through the Te Taha Māori arm who support the bill. We trust therefore that both of the parties in the covenant relationship will look carefully at the case when trust funds become freed up for distribution. In particular, we would hope that where the land given was originally from Māori sources and where it is proposed that this land be disposed of, then the tumuaki of Te Taha Māori will be actively involved in decisions around that land. We look forward to the Select Committee debate around this bill for assurances around the protocols that will naturally fall out of the bill. To that end, Mr. Speaker, we will support this bill going forward.